Sarah froze in the doorway, her hands still on the knob, as the scene before her unfolded like a nightmare she couldn't wake from. There was her stepdaughter, Andrea, tangled in an embrace with another woman, their lips pressed together in a kiss that spoke of secrets long hidden. The shock hit Sarah like a freight train, her heart pounding as the room spun, forcing her to confront a truth she'd never imagined in her perfect suburban life. Andrea pulled away first, her eyes widening in horror as she spotted Sarah. "Mom, Sarah, wait, I can explain," she stammered, her voice breaking the heavy silence. The other woman, whom Sarah would later learn was named Anastasia, stood frozen, her face a mask of guilt and defiance. Sarah's mind raced, replaying every moment she'd dismissed as teenage rebellion. The late nights, the whispered phone calls, the way Andrea's best friend, Anastasia, had become a fixture in their home. How had she been so blind? The betrayal stung not just from the secrecy, but from the realization that her carefully constructed family was built on lies. Inside, Sarah's thoughts churned like a storm. This can't be real. Andrea's always been my girl, the one I raised after marrying her father. We've shared everything, holidays, heartbreaks, dreams. But this changes it all. She wanted to scream, to demand answers, but her voice caught in her throat. Instead, she turned and fled down the hallway, slamming her bedroom door behind her. The image burned into her mind. Andrea's arms around Anastasia, the tenderness that excluded her entirely. Downstairs in the kitchen of their cozy Chicago home, Sarah poured herself a glass of water with trembling hands. Her husband, Mark, was away on a business trip, leaving her to handle this alone. What would he say? He's always been so traditional, raised in a strict Catholic family. This would break him. Sarah sank into a chair, her mind flooding with memories. When she married Mark 5 years ago, Andrea was just 18, fresh out of high school and full of potential. Sarah had stepped in as the mother figure Andrea needed after her biological mom's passing. They'd bonded over shopping trips and late-night talks. But now that bond felt fractured. Andrea appeared in the doorway, her face pale. "Sarah, please. Let me talk." Anastasia hovered behind her, looking uncomfortable in the familiar space. Sarah's eyes narrowed. "Who is she, really?" "Your friend who's been sleeping over for months." Andrea took a deep breath. "Anastasia is my girlfriend. We've been together for a year." The words hung in the air, heavy with implication. Sarah's stomach twisted. "A year? Under my roof?" She felt a surge of anger mixed with hurt. "You lied to me. To us. Why?" Andrea's eyes filled with tears. "Because I was scared. You and Dad. You're so set in your ways. Church every Sunday, the neighborhood barbecues where everyone talks about traditional families. I didn't know how to tell you." Anastasia stepped forward, her voice soft but firm. "Mrs. Thompson, it's not Andrea's fault. We love each other. That's all." Sarah recoiled. Love? At what cost? Her mind screamed warnings, society's judgments, the whispers at PTA meetings, the potential fallout with Mark's conservative relatives. But deeper, a voice whispered doubt. "Am I the one who's wrong here?" The confrontation escalated as Sarah's emotions boiled over. "This isn't just about you two. What about the family? What about your future?" Andrea's face hardened. "My future? You mean the one where I pretend to be someone I'm not? I've tried that, Sarah. It nearly destroyed me." The words cut deep, reminding Sarah of Andrea's bouts of depression last year. The therapy sessions she'd dismissed as phase. Was this the root? And I missed it? Guilt gnawed at her, but so did fear. Fear of change, of losing the daughter she'd claimed as her own. As the night wore on, Sarah retreated to the living room, staring at family photos on the mantel. One showed Andrea at graduation, beaming between her and Mark. That smile, was it ever real? Her thoughts spiraled into self-doubt. I've prided myself on being open-minded, volunteering at the community center, supporting friends through divorces. But this hits too close. It's my family. Anastasia left quietly, leaving Andrea and Sarah in tense silence. Andrea tried again. I didn't choose this to hurt you. It's who I am. Sarah nodded numbly, but inside the conflict raged. Accept her or protect the life we've built. The choice felt impossible, laden with moral weight. By morning, Mark called, his voice cheerful over the phone. "How's everything at home?" Sarah hesitated, her lie slipping out easily. "Fine. Just fine." But nothing was fine. The secret now burdened her too, forcing her to decide. Confront Mark, or keep Andrea's truth hidden. The pressure built, a ticking bomb in their seemingly perfect home. Andrea avoided her all day, the air thick with unspoken words. Sarah's inner turmoil intensified. If I tell him, it could tear us apart. If I don't, am I betraying my marriage? The ethical dilemma clawed at her, each option a path to pain. As evening fell, Sarah sat alone in the garden, the Chicago skyline distant and indifferent. Society says family comes first, but which family? The one blood defines or the one love creates? Her mind replayed the kiss, not with disgust now, but curiosity. What if Andrea's happiness means reshaping everything? The thought terrified her. Yet a small part wondered if she could adapt. But adaptation meant facing prejudices she'd long ignored in herself. The first cracks in her worldview had appeared, and the drama was only beginning. The next few days blurred into a haze of avoidance and whispered arguments. Sarah couldn't look at Andrea without seeing that kiss, a symbol of everything unspoken. Mark returned home oblivious, kissing Sarah on the cheek and ruffling Andrea's hair like always. "Miss my girls," he said, unpacking his suitcase. Sarah forced a smile, but inside, the secret festered like an open wound. How long can I keep this up? Her thoughts tormented her, loyalty to her husband versus protecting her stepdaughter. The moral tightrope stretched thin. Andrea cornered her in the laundry room one afternoon. "We need to talk about this. You can't just ignore me." Sarah folded towels with deliberate slowness. "What is there to say? You've made your choice." Andrea's eyes flashed. "Choice? This isn't a choice, Sarah. It's me." The words echoed Sarah's earlier doubts, stirring a reluctant empathy. She's right. But does that make it easier? Anastasia texted Andrea constantly, a reminder of the outside force pulling at their family. Sarah glimpsed one message. "I love you. We'll get through this." Jealousy flared unexpectedly. That's my role, to support her. Dinner that night was a minefield. Mark chatted about work, unaware of the tension. "Andrea, how's that job hunt going? Any leads?" Andrea mumbled something about interviews, her gaze flicking to Sarah. The unspoken plea hung heavy. "Don't tell him yet." Sarah's fork clattered against her plate. "Am I complicit now? Hiding this feels like betrayal." Later, alone with Mark, she almost confessed. "There's something about Andrea." But the words died as he hugged her. "She's fine. You're a great mom." The praise stung, amplifying her guilt. Sarah's inner conflict deepened as she researched online late at night. Articles on LGBTQ+ youth, family acceptance, societal pressures. They all blurred together. Statistics say rejection leads to depression, even suicide. Am I capable of that? Horror gripped her. She'd always seen herself as progressive, voting for inclusive policies, but theory clashed with reality. It's different when it's your child. Memories surfaced. Her own conservative upbringing in rural Illinois, where differences were whispered about, not celebrated. Have I really escaped that? Anastasia showed up unannounced one evening, knocking politely. "I wanted to talk, Mrs. Thompson." Sarah let her in reluctantly, leading her to the patio. "What do you want from us?" Anastasia sat straight, her composure unnerving. "Just understanding. Andrea's torn up about this." Sarah's defenses cracked. "And you think I'm not? She's like my daughter." Anastasia nodded. "I know. That's why I'm here. We didn't plan for you to find out like that." The honesty disarmed Sarah, planting seeds of doubt about her initial reaction. Maybe they're not the villains here. But the conversation turned tense when Anastasia shared her story. "My family disowned me when I came out. I don't want that for Andrea." Sarah's heart ached. Disowned. Is that what Mark would do? Visions of holidays without Andrea haunted her. Yet anger simmered. "You pulled her into this world." Anastasia's eyes hardened. "No one pulls anyone. Love happens." The exchange left Sarah reeling, questioning her prejudices. Am I judging them because of fear, or something deeper? Mark noticed the strain eventually. What's going on with you two? You're acting weird. Sarah deflected, but Andrea seized the moment later that night. Dad, I need to tell you something. Sarah's pulse raced as she intervened. Not now, Andrea. The glare Andrea shot her was pure betrayal. I'm protecting her. Or am I protecting myself? The decision weighed heavily, each path fraught with loss. Andrea stormed out, slamming the door, leaving Sarah to ponder the cost of silence. Days turned into a cold war. Andrea spent more time with Anastasia, coming home late. Sarah's worries escalated. Is she safe? Happy? One afternoon, she drove by Anastasia's apartment, seeing them laugh through the window. Envy mixed with sorrow. That's the joy I want for her, but not like this. Back home, Mark pressed for answers. Sarah, talk to me. She broke partially. Andrea's seeing someone. Complicated. His brow furrowed. A bad guy. Sarah hesitated. Not a guy. The words slipped out, and regret flooded her. Now I've started the unraveling. Mark's reaction was immediate confusion, then denial. What do you mean? Sarah explained haltingly, watching his face shift from shock to anger. Under our roof? How long have you known? The accusation stung. A few days. I was figuring it out. He paced. This isn't right. We raised her better. Sarah's defense surprised her. Better than what? Being herself. The argument escalated, exposing cracks in their marriage. Am I siding with Andrea now? Mark stormed off, leaving Sarah alone with her evolving thoughts. The family's foundation shook as whispers of truth spread. Sarah's inner monologue raced. I've always put family first, but whose happiness matters most? Mine, Mark's, or Andrea's? The drama intensified, with each character paying a price. Andrea her security, Sarah her illusions, Mark his certainties. The high stakes loomed, promising more confrontations ahead. The fallout hit like a storm the next morning. Mark confronted Andrea over breakfast, his voice low but edged with fury. Is it true? About you and that girl? Andrea met his gaze steadily. Yes, Dad. Anastasia and I are together. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by Mark's chair scraping back as he stood. This is unacceptable. Not in this house. Sarah watched, her heart tearing. He's reacting just as I feared, and as I did. Her own hypocrisy burned. Andrea's voice trembled, but held firm. Unacceptable? This is who I am. If you can't accept it, maybe I should leave. Mark's face reddened. Leave. After everything we've done for you. The words escalated into shouts, accusations flying. Sarah intervened. Stop. Both of you. But inside she questioned. Am I mediating, or just delaying the inevitable? Memories of her wedding vows surfaced, promising to support Mark through thick and thin. Yet seeing Andrea's pain, those vows felt conditional. Anastasia became the unintended catalyst. She called Andrea during the fight, offering support. Mark overheard. Tell her she's not welcome here. Andrea hung up defiantly. You don't get to decide that. The divide widened, with Sarah caught in the middle. Choose a side or lose both. The ethical quandary deepened. Family loyalty versus personal truth. Society's expectations loomed large. The church friends who'd judge, the neighbors who'd gossip. Chicago's progressive, but not in our circle. Sarah sought solace in a walk through Lincoln Park, the city bustle a distraction. What would my mother say? She always preached conformity. But a new voice emerged. Andrea deserves better than that. Back home, she found Mark researching conversion therapy online. Horror struck her. You can't be serious. He defended. It's for her own good. To fix this. Sarah's anger flared. Fix? She's not broken. The argument revealed Mark's deep-seated biases. One Sarah had overlooked in their courtship. Did I marry a stranger? Andrea packed a bag that night, tears streaming. I can't stay here. Sarah begged her to wait. Give him time. But Andrea's resolve hardened. Time won't change him. Or you if you stay silent. The words pierced Sarah. Am I enabling this? Anastasia arrived to pick her up, the scene tense. Mark watched from the window, silent. As they drove away, Sarah felt the loss acutely. My stepdaughter, gone because of fear. The house echoed empty, amplifying her regrets. Days passed in strained quiet. Mark threw himself into work, avoiding discussion. Sarah attended a support group for parents of LGBTQ+ kids, anonymously. Stories of rejection and reconciliation stirred her. One woman lost her son to estrangement. Is that our future? Empathy grew, clashing with her lingering doubts. Society says it's wrong, but my heart says otherwise. A call from Andrea interrupted her thoughts. I miss you, Sarah. But I can't come back until things change. The plea tugged at her. Confronting Mark became inevitable. We need to talk about Andrea. He sighed. What's there to say? She's chosen her path. Sarah pressed. And if that path leads away from us? Tears welled in his eyes, a crack in his armor. I don't want to lose her. For the first time, vulnerability showed. Sarah shared her research, the risks of rejection. We could drive her away forever. Mark resisted, but seeds of doubt planted. Is he capable of change? Am I? An unexpected visit from Mark's sister. A devout conservative, complicated matters. Over coffee she sensed tension. What's wrong? Mark blurted the truth, seeking alliance. His sister nodded approvingly. You did right standing firm. Sarah's blood boiled. Firm? We're losing our daughter. The outburst shocked everyone, including herself. When did I become the defender? The family rift exposed societal pressures, where tradition clashed with progress. Andrea's absence weighed heavily. Sarah drove to Anastasia's apartment one evening, unannounced. I want to understand. Anastasia welcomed her warily. They talked for hours, about love, identity, struggles. Andrea joined, hesitant. Why now? Sarah admitted. Because I was wrong. Scared. Tears flowed as walls crumbled. This is the price, humility for connection. But Mark's stance loomed. A barrier to full reconciliation. The drama peaked as Sarah issued an ultimatum to Mark. Accept her, or we all pay the price. His internal struggle mirrored hers. Tradition versus love. Will he choose family over pride? The tension built, each decision a step toward potential healing or irreversible damage. Sarah's thoughts raced. We've all betrayed in ways, secrets, judgments, silence. Now redemption demands sacrifice. Reconciliation attempts faltered as Mark dug in his heels. I need time, he repeated, but his actions spoke louder. Canceling family plans, avoiding calls from Andrea. Sarah's frustration mounted. Time? While she's out there hurting. Her inner resolve strengthened, fueled by nights of reflection. I've enabled his views too long. Change starts with me. She invited Andrea and Anastasia for dinner, without telling Mark. The ambush risked everything, but passivity had cost enough. The evening arrived charged with anticipation. Andrea hesitated at the door. Is this a good idea? Sarah hugged her. It has to be. Anastasia offered a small smile, a truce. Mark walked in to find them setting the table, his face paling. What's this? Sarah stood firm. A family dinner. Sit down. The air crackled with tension, unspoken grievances simmering. Dinner progressed in awkward bursts, small talk about weather, work, until Mark addressed the elephant. So, Anastasia, what do you do? Her polite response thawed him slightly, but suspicion lingered. Andrea broke the ice further. Dad, I love her. That's not changing. Mark's fork paused. And I love you. But this. He trailed off, conflict evident. Sarah watched, her mind urging. See her happiness. Inside, she battled her own remnants of doubt. Am I pushing too hard? The conversation turned raw as old wounds surfaced. Andrea's mother's death, Mark's overprotectiveness, Sarah's role as outsider. You've always tried to control me, Andrea accused. Mark defended. To protect you. The exchange highlighted the psychological toll, each word a revelation. Anastasia shared vulnerably. My parents cut me off. Don't let that happen here. Mark's eyes softened, perhaps seeing the human cost. Is this the turning point? But pride flared. I'm not like them. The debate intensified, touching on societal norms. The world isn't ready, Mark argued. Sarah countered. Then we make it ready, starting at home. The moral crossroads loomed, conformity or courage. Each choice carried weight, potential for growth or further fracture. After dinner, Mark retreated to his study. Sarah followed. You saw them together. They're real. He nodded slowly. It scares me. Vulnerability emerged, echoing Sarah's early fears. We're more alike than I thought. They talked late, unpacking biases rooted in upbringing. Mark admitted. I don't want to lose her. Sarah's empathy surged. This is progress, painful but necessary. Meanwhile, Andrea and Anastasia waited anxiously. Think he'll come around? Anastasia asked. Andrea sighed. He has to. The next day brought a small victory. Mark called Andrea. Can we talk? Just us. They met at a cafe, hours passing in discussion. Andrea returned hopeful. He listened. Really listened. Sarah's relief mixed with caution. One step forward, but the journey's long. Societal pressures persisted. Whispers from friends, judgmental glances at church. Sarah faced her own confrontation when a neighbor commented. Heard about Andrea. Such a shame. Defensiveness rose. Shame? She's brave. The exchange empowered her, shedding layers of conformity. But betrayal lurked. Mark confided in his priest, seeking guidance. The advice. Pray for her return to the path. Mark shared this with Sarah, sparking fury. You're undermining us. The argument exposed lingering divisions. Can trust be rebuilt? Andrea learned of it indirectly, her hurt fresh. He hasn't changed. The cycle of damage continued, each character paying emotionally. Isolation for Andrea. Guilt for Mark, exhaustion for Sarah. Anastasia offered stability, but even she questioned. Is this worth the pain? Sarah's inner turmoil peaked during a sleepless night. We've all made choices, some right, some wrong. But at what cost to our souls? She decided on action. Family therapy. Mark resisted initially. We don't need outsiders. But Andrea's ultimatum, therapy or goodbye, swayed him. The first session was brutal, tears and truths flowing. The therapist probed. What are you afraid of losing? Mark confessed. Control. Andrea. Myself. Sarah. Unity. The revelations fostered understanding, but healing demanded time. As weeks passed, tentative bonds reformed. Mark met Anastasia properly, awkward but sincere. If you make her happy. He left it unfinished, a concession. Society's shadow remained. Andrea faced slurs at work, amplifying her resolve. Sarah volunteered for LGBTQ+ advocacy, channeling pain into purpose. This is my atonement. The drama evolved from conflict to cautious hope. Each step a testament to the human cost of change. Yet, doubts lingered. Have we truly awakened? Or is this fragile? The high-stakes decisions continued, building toward a climactic resolution where sacrifices defined their futures. The therapy sessions became a battleground for buried truths. In one, Mark admitted his fears stemmed from his own unaddressed grief over Andrea's mother. I wanted to protect you from more pain. Andrea softened. But hiding who I am is pain. Sarah watched, her role shifting from mediator to participant. My own insecurities, feeling like the step-parent, fueled my initial rejection. Confessions peeled layers, exposing the psychological depths. Andrea's internalized shame from societal cues. Anastasia's resilience from past rejections. Each session ended in exhaustion, but with incremental progress. Outside therapy, life tested their resolve. Andrea and Anastasia attended a Pride event in Chicago, photos circulating online. Mark's colleagues commented, pressuring him. Handle your family. He defended. It's my family to handle. The stance cost him a promotion, a tangible price. Is acceptance worth career setbacks? Sarah supported him, their marriage strengthening through shared trials. But Andrea faced worse. Harassment at her job. Whispers turning to outright discrimination. They say I'm a distraction. Rage filled Sarah. Society's cruelty up close. Anastasia's family resurfaced unexpectedly, her estranged mother calling. Heard about your lifestyle. Come home and repent. Anastasia hung up, but the call shook her. What if they're right? Andrea comforted. They're not. We define our right. The moment highlighted Mouthwan Dao Duk, familial duty versus self-preservation. Sarah overheard, her empathy deepening. We've all faced this fork. She invited them over more, normalizing their presence. Mark grumbled but participated, small gestures like asking about Anastasia's day bridging gaps. A major confrontation arose at a family gathering. Mark's relatives, unaware, made homophobic jokes. Andrea snapped. That's not funny. The room tensed. Mark backed her. She's right. Change the subject. The bold move alienated some kin, but empowered the core family. Sarah's pride swelled. He's paying the price, social isolation for truth. Inside she reflected. We've all sacrificed comfort, relationships, illusions. But for growth? The event marked a turning point, societal prejudices clashing with personal evolution. Andrea's awakening culminated in a heartfelt talk with Sarah. You finding us that day. It forced everything out. Sarah nodded. I regret my reaction, but not the outcome. Tears mingled with laughter as they reminisced. Anastasia joined, the trio forming an unlikely alliance. Mark observed from afar, his internal shift evident. Love isn't conditional. Yet challenges persisted. Andrea's job lost due to bias, prompting a lawsuit. The legal battle drained them emotionally, but united them. We'll fight together, Mark declared, a far cry from his initial denial. As months passed, the family redefined itself. Holidays included Anastasia, traditions adapting. Sarah's volunteer work expanded, advocating against discrimination. This is my purpose now. But scars remained. Trust rebuilt slowly, wounds from betrayals healing unevenly. Andrea thrived, her relationship with Anastasia deepening amid adversity. The narrative of damage and redemption wove through their lives, each choice a testament to resilience. In a quiet moment, Sarah pondered the journey. From shock to acceptance, we've navigated moral mazes, paid dearly in tears and ties severed. The high drama of confrontations gave way to subtle awakenings, logic dictating that love's authenticity outweighed societal dictates. Andrea's happiness became the compass, guiding them through storms. Yet as they gathered for a simple dinner, laughter filling the air, questions lingered. Mark raised a toast. To family, however it looks. The words resonated, but Sarah wondered if true change was permanent. In the end, after all the betrayals, sacrifices, and awakenings, one question remains. Is it right to prioritize personal truth over family tradition, even if it means shattering long-held bonds?